So it looks like Bergfors, Bergfors,
Bingo.
Bergfors.
Yeah. No. Yes, good enough.
I was doing an event a few years ago in a foreign place, and it was the award ceremony, and all the names were in a language I wasn't familiar with. And I was trying this name, and the guy who was running the show was, no, it's not that. He would say the name, then I would say it back. For instance, let's say it was Smithfield, for instance. So he would say, it's Smithfield, and I would say, Smithfield. Said, no, Smithfield. Okay, Smithfield. And for me, I thought I was saying what he was saying, and he wasn't having it at all. He's like, you've got to get this right. It's so important. This is live television. And so I did my best. And then he goes on stage and says, please welcome your MC, Raglon Titloff.
Yes, that's a classic one. Oh, it's a good story.
How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm doing great, actually. Having a splendid day today.
You're in Bovec.
I'm in Bovec, Slovenia. Yeah.
Beautiful place. It seems like the mecca for being outdoors.
Yeah, there's lots of things, different things to do, and yeah, in flying air sports and in ground stuff, and well, whatever you can think of, river.
I was hoping I was going to get there for the first time this summer, and of course with the pandemic not happening. What happened with you all summertime? Did it stop you in any way, or were you free to roam?
I actually had planned to try to spend as much time as I could in Bovec, and ended up doing this. So I had some private coaching and some groups coming to fly with me and let me take them on an adventure here in the area.
Well, you've really made it your home. What got you there in the first place? What decided you to make your life there?
Like I'd been working in Charleroi in the wind tunnel there, and then resigned and had the chance to live pretty much anywhere in the world, which was a huge privilege, of course. And I had just visited Bovec like the year before, and it kind of came by coincidence that I moved here, and like it's weird, when I bought the apartment, I had felt before, like, this is so crazy, like, what am I doing? Why am I buying property in a small mountain village in Slovenia that I've like only spent one season in? Like, this is crazy. And but then every time I come here, I know for myself why. And this place is a place where I can be calm, whereas my soul feels very calm here, because the mountains and the river make you feel very comfortable, and it feels like I'm doing good work just by existing here. So it's like very rewarding.
The photographs you post, your Instagram feed, it's just absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I know you from the skydiving world, as a load organizer. I know you as a filmmaker, a tunnel instructor, a flight instructor. It's a few of the things that I'm aware of that some of the people who are watching might be aware of too. But recently you've started paragliding a lot, being where you are.
Yeah, I've paraglided here for a few years. And before that, I actually started to speed fly before I paraglided, because I've been seeing videos of wingsuit proximity flying, and realized that that's probably the most fun that I could possibly think of doing, and the most rewarding and most exciting. But I also realized that it would be something that would kill me, because I'm prone to make mistakes, as we are. Yes. And then I was trying to find something to mimic the wingsuit proximity flying. So I was going into FPV, like another air sport, like FPV drone flying. I couldn't even charge the battery because it was so technical. And then I started getting into speed flying, and like it felt very comfortable for me to have a wing over my head. And then eventually turned out that it's pretty much as dangerous as wingsuit proximity flying. And then so I kept going and end up with the paragliding, which is statistically still twice as dangerous as skydiving, but I'm enjoying the process of all the waiting time that comes inevitably with this air sport, and with skydiving as well. All the waiting time is spent on mountains and on dunes and in front of the ocean, and I really enjoy the whole process of this a lot.
That's an interesting comment, that paragliding is twice as dangerous as skydiving. I've never come across that before. That's really, tell me a little bit about that.
I mean, I got that piece of information from a podcast with a risk, like a specialist in risk on paragliding, and like it's very difficult to put a number on it, of course, and like it depends completely who you are and what you're doing and like what type of skydiving, what type of paragliding, but like, and he was very reluctant to release a number himself. But when he did, he said it was twice as dangerous to paraglide than to skydive. And I mean, you're just closer to the ground more often. And just like base jumping, you're allowed to take your own decision. Whereas you always have in skydiving, like some sort of authoritative figure, like a jump leader or a pilot that will be able to stop you from doing stupid decisions.
Yes, we hope so, don't we? With ground control and all of this. Let's take it back a bit. Tell me about how your connection to air sport started, Johannes. Where did it begin and when did it begin?
Well, it began with being something like 22 and not having any hobbies except for like going out drinking and cooking food, which was my profession at the time. And then some of my buddies were asking me, hey, we're going to do a skydiving course. Would you like to join us? And I thought like, yeah, I suppose I might as well do the course because it was a good price and I need to skydive at some point in my life for sure. So I might as well do the course. I get 10 jumps for the same price as 2 pretty much. So I got into it like by a complete fluke and never had anyone in my family doing air sports or none of my friends were doing it before. And out of the group of friends that started, I'm the only one who's continued after that. So
we've all got a similar story to that, haven't we?
Yeah.
How did your journey then take you into doing it as an income, as a lifestyle?
I think at the time I was very impressed by the coolness of some of my friends that were really good skydivers, and they showed me by their actions that it was possible to live a life outside of the norm, outside of the 9 to 5, outside of the educate yourself, get a job, keep it, and so on. So like I grew up in a fairly like sheltered Sweden where these kind of conventions are very common, and so to follow your dreams and to work on yourself and to conquer your fears and all these things were new to me and presented to me, and like I was like sucking it up like a sponge and felt like immediately like, wow, I want to be like them. Like I want to live my life traveling. I want to live my life like being cool, because I was like grew up being a nerd. So like it really was something I just wanted to achieve. And then after getting to that point, it turns out that I have a really large interest for teaching and for sharing my knowledge and for finding new ways to make that process more efficient, for example.
And recently you've been inviting groups to you. The general way that a lot of us full-time in the sport, we travel from event to event to event. You've had people coming to you, not only for skydiving though, as a life experience, really. Can you tell me a bit about what that involves?
Well, so yeah, the story about Slovenia Elements, which is the name of the invitation pretty much, is that I realized that this place has so much to offer, and I realized that with with resources that you have here, it's a shame not to involve the river activities and the ground activities. And I'm really fond of building a team and like looking at the excitement through other people's eyes and that I really feel like I can do. So like the reward of taking 8 people on a rafting experience, for example, or to a gastronomic experience, and then have people bicycle in between the two, for example, like the emotions that arise from this when they're challenging themselves a little bit more, like crazy, how crazy is that? Like they're challenging themselves more, doing rafting, cycling, and then the gastronomic experience, than to make 3 skydives. So like as they challenge themselves, it becomes more memorable. They experience more emotions, and that's the end goal of the trips that I do, and all the trips that I do, is to like evoke emotions, and becomes memorable, and kind of the point of life in a way.
To me, it sounds like bliss. Where I am in my life right now, that would be a perfect vacation. A few jumps, good food, out on the water, cycling. It would be, for me right now, the best thing I could possibly do. But I've had times in my skydiving when I was very selfish with it though, and all I could think about was jumping out of planes. And if I wasted 1 second where I wasn't on the drop zone on every single lift, you know, on training camps, the coach, you know, early 4-way days, he didn't want us to do more than 6 jumps on the first days, and I was like, come on, I want to do 12. It's strange how you go through this journey in sport.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I think I've been in that position, and I love looking back at it, like because I would really honestly believe that everybody's life would benefit from doing skydiving, and like if they're not doing it, like they're wrong, and they don't know what's wrong with them. And so I suppose that it just has become a point where I'm looking outside and looking at different things and experiencing the joy of learning new things quite a lot, and being in nature. And yeah, that's I suppose my biggest interest now.
I think when I was load organizing in Spain at Skydiving Pura Brava, it was always a challenge for people that arrived to get them just to calm down and experience the full day. You could easily do 4 jumps in the morning, have a nice lunch, and then do 4 more jumps in the afternoon and have sunset on the beach. So you can do more than just jumping out of planes and have 8 jumps. But some people, you know, they didn't want to stop for lunch. They want to do 10 jumps. And it's when you're not doing it every single day, it can be more focused and driven in what you think you need, as opposed to what a full day can be, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it's completely right, and I've experienced this as well. It's just like you say. If you don't do it, if you don't have access to skydiving as much as you and I have, then you're for sure going to want to try to carpe the jump DM, so to speak.
And outside of skydiving and cooking and the rest of the things, you've got history with singing, operatic.
Yeah, I used to do the voice choir for many years until my voice broke, as you say, and I started singing like not so nice anymore because of it. And before that, I was singing in musicals and on the opera a few times, and that was cool. That's great. Yeah.
And with your cooking, your gastronomy is amazing. We've cooked together before at Boogies in the past. I've even cooked vegan with you. I did a vegan roast. It was very good.
Yeah, vegan came to life that day.
So, as well as that, tell me about what happens there in the winter where you are now. I would imagine there's a lot of snow and it's not really skydiving conditions.
So this is now like the 30th of November, and I think today or tomorrow, like 4 of my friends who've spent the summer here are just about to leave. So they're going to do a winter season somewhere, or they're going to go back to a city to keep working on the thing. So that's actually what's happening here now. It's more and more of the expats like myself are leaving. And so it kind of becomes that we who are left have a lot in common from being here. And I'm now growing my social circle and strengthening it, but just by being here, and I'm really enjoying this. So like we've been incredibly lucky with weather the past 3 weeks. Normally it's like 6 weeks of rain in November, and this time we've had I think 2 rainy days out of the past three weeks, and the rest has been like sunshine. So we've been able to do hiking and flying, and I've been doing some climbing, and the airport's not operating at the moment, like the skydiving is operating, and the river is not so active. Otherwise, maybe I would have gone kayaking. Of course, you can go down for like a Wim Hof style dip in the freezing river if you want. We expect snow in about 3 days, and from then on we can start doing ski touring, because the cable car is closed right now because of the pandemic. But like, yeah, I'm spending time preparing my future, I suppose. And today I did a walk where I went on the phone with a friend, and I ended up foraging sage and like picking home bamboo to propagate. So like my apartment's full of plants, and I'm just cooking and baking and doing this stuff now, and having friends over. So that's pretty much my life now.
Perfect autumn winter activities. The parachuting operation at the skydiving, is it full time in the summer, or is it weekends? Or
yeah, it's full time in the summer at Skydive Bovitz. From say April to end of September, it's full time. So six days per week.
And what do you think for yourself? Do you think you're going to carry on working within skydiving, or are you going to move towards more with your activities there, what you're doing now? Have you got an idea, or do you not know yet how you want to progress?
It's going to be a part of my life in one way or another. And which exact direction it's going to take, I'm not sure. I think what's for certain is like I'm not going to jump as much as I have before for a few different reasons, and I feel good about that. I think continuing to jump when you're not feeling like it would be more harmful than the option. So I'm feeling really positive about the future, and I feel like I can be an asset in so many fields, whether I'm going to keep working for myself or whether I'm going to work for an external company. I'm sure that there's a place where my broad skill set can come to the perfect use, so to speak.
And the standard of living there, it's very different than just over the mountains in Switzerland, isn't it? Where you are.
Sorry, the what?
The standard of living, the cost of actually being there, it's a bit different than Switzerland.
Yeah, definitely. That's for sure what I've understood as well.
Yeah. What about your filmmaking as well? Are you going to continue with that? Is that something you want to progress?
I think that like the same thing there. I will use. I've filmed and edited much in the past 10 years, and so the type of filming and editing that I will be doing in the future is going to be more selected and maybe on a different type of standard. So I'm filming a movie project in March, like a skydiving movie project in March. And then outside of this, the productions that I will do will probably be for my own projects, like my own company and so on.
And the skydiving production in March, can you tell us anything about that, or is it top secret right now?
Yeah, it's pretty much top secret right now. It's a small production with really good equipment, and so I'm so excited to be able to put something similar to an Epic on my head for the first time after using these home production cameras. So I'm calling around to some of my friends that are experts in the field, like like Gustavo Cabana, and maybe I'll dare to call Bruno about it. Like we're not so close, but I'll ask him. And Lauri Apro is already like helping me out with this stuff. So I'm excited to get into that. And so these things where I get to learn quite a lot is when I get to learn quite a lot. That's really exciting for me, of course. Do new things.
Fantastic. Well, it looks like you've got a great winter season coming up. I'm sure you're going to have a great time. You're going to stay there, okay? I take it. You're not going to move anywhere?
To be completely honest, I'm not sure yet. I think it's starting to seem more and more like it. I'll go home to Sweden to see some family for a few weeks. And then with the group of friends that I'm spending time with here now, we are all adventurers and all wanting to be active, and they all have their own projects that I'd like to be able to support them with as well, at the same time as I'm working on my own planning for the summer.
Is Ernesto around? Do you spend much time with that family?
Yeah, actually, I could be able to bring you right over to them. They're across the hallway here. So yeah, they're very nearby. And I think it's the same for them. Like they're focusing on their projects now, preparing for the next season. In general, here in Slovenia, a lot of people just stay really calm and just don't really do a lot in the season. And I'm allowing myself to take time. And for the first time in my life since I was 18, I'm just like gonna try for a bit to not really do anything, and I'm gonna try my best every morning to wake up and not judge myself for not doing anything, because I've been very performance driven before, and always trying to be proactive with projects and new ideas, and having to organize my own tunnel camps and my own events, and now I'm just actually trying to give it a lot of space. So focusing on my physical and mental health, and cooking, and other things that make me feel good.
Fantastic, Johannes. It sounds like you've got a great plan. It's been great to catch up with you today. Good to see your face.
Thanks a lot.
And thanks for joining us on Air Sports News. Thank you very much.